JOANN had something Amazon could never fully offer. Thousands of fabrics, colors, textures, and materials that customers could touch before buying. For generations, serious sewers, quilters, and crafters relied on JOANN for products they could not easily find anywhere else. Customers loved the selection, and that may have been part of the problem. In 2025, after more than 80 years in business, JOANN began closing every remaining store. At almost the same time, Michaels started expanding into the exact categories JOANN was leaving behind: fabric, sewing supplies, yarn, crafting brands. So how did one of America's best-known craft retailers disappear while its biggest competitor moved in to collect the customers, products, and opportunities it left behind? The answer is not simply Amazon, and it is not simply bad management. The deeper answer is hidden inside the very thing that once made JOANN special. JOANN was never just another general craft store. Its real strength was specialization. A customer could walk into a JOANN store looking for a very particular fabric, thread, pattern, ribbon, or shade of yarn, and have a reasonable chance of finding it. That mattered because fabric is not an easy product to buy blindly. Texture matters. Weight matters. Color can look different on a screen. And for many customers, the ability to touch a material before buying it was valuable. A 2025 consumer survey found that product assortment was one of the main reasons people shopped at JOANN, alongside discounts, convenient locations, and price. 8 in 10 respondents said they were upset about the company's closure. JOANN had built something customers genuinely valued. But customer value and business profitability are not always the same thing. Sometimes the thing customers love most is also the most expensive thing for the company to maintain. Imagine running a store where customers expect hundreds of fabrics, not just cotton, different weights, patterns, materials, seasonal designs, and colors. Now multiply that problem across yarn, thread, sewing tools, decorations, crafting supplies, and thousands of other products. The wider the selection, the more money must be invested in inventory before a single item is sold. Some products move quickly, others sit on shelves for months. But removing too many slow-selling products creates another problem. The specialist customer stops trusting the store. This was JOANN's trap. The company needed enormous variety to remain useful. But enormous variety required large stores, complex supply chains, and capital tied up in products that might sell slowly. JOANN could not simply become a smaller, simpler store without risking the very reason customers visited. Its greatest strength had become expensive to preserve. More variety meant more inventory. More inventory meant more cash trapped on shelves. And more slow-moving products meant more discounting.
During the pandemic, crafting experienced a temporary surge. People stayed home. They sewed masks, decorated their homes, learned new hobbies, and bought supplies for projects. For a period, the craft industry looked stronger than it really was. But when restrictions ended, consumers had more ways to spend their time and money. Demand began to normalize. JOANN was left operating a large physical network built for a level of enthusiasm that did not continue. The company also faced higher freight costs, increasing online competition, and weaker consumer demand after the pandemic boom. The pandemic did not create every weakness. It temporarily made those weaknesses easier to ignore. A difficult business model does not always destroy a company immediately. Companies can redesign stores, reduce inventory, improve online sales, close weak locations, renegotiate contracts. But all of those changes require time. Debt reduces that time. JOANN entered bankruptcy protection in March 2024. It was initially able to eliminate roughly $500 million of debt while keeping hundreds of stores open. But less than a year later, the company filed for bankruptcy again. This time, the rescue did not work. The problem was no longer just whether JOANN could improve. The problem was whether it could improve fast enough. When a company has heavy financial obligations, weak sales, and inventory problems, every month becomes more expensive. Debt does not always cause the original mistake, but it can remove the time needed to correct it.
That is one of the hidden incentives behind many corporate failures. Management begins choosing what protects the next quarter instead of what repairs the business over the next 5 years. Discounts clear inventory, but weaken margins. Closing stores saves cash, but reduces convenience. Reducing selection improves efficiency, but disappoints specialist customers. Every short-term solution damages another part of the model. Michaels did not survive because it avoided every problem. It also faced the post-pandemic slowdown. It also carried debt. And it also had to compete with online retailers. The difference was flexibility. Michaels operated a broader arts, crafts, framing, and celebration business. It did not depend as heavily on maintaining JOANN's enormous specialist fabric identity. When JOANN disappeared, Michaels did not need to purchase and operate the entire failed company. It could choose the parts that still had value. In June 2025, Michaels acquired JOANN's intellectual property and private label brands, including the popular Big Twist yarn line. It also announced more than 600 new products across fabrics, sewing, quilting, yarn, and related categories. Michaels increased its yarn assortment by 25%, but it did not acquire JOANN's entire physical store network as part of that transaction. That distinction matters. Michaels gained brands, products, and customer demand without automatically inheriting the entire operating structure that had become so difficult to finance. It could absorb the attractive pieces. JOANN had been forced to carry the entire machine.
The final lesson is uncomfortable. Customers can love a company and still move on quickly when it disappears. In the same survey where 8 in 10 respondents said they were upset about JOANN's closure, 74% said they expected to shop at Michaels or Hobby Lobby instead. Many also plan to buy similar products from online retailers, Walmart, Target, or local stores. JOANN mattered to people, but most customers were not going to stop crafting because JOANN was gone. Their spending would move somewhere else. That is the difference between emotional loyalty and economic dependence. A customer may deeply appreciate a store without shopping there often enough to support hundreds of locations and thousands of specialized products. JOANN was loved, but love did not create enough frequent, profitable transactions to sustain the system behind it. This is where the hidden incentive becomes clear. JOANN's leaders were trapped between two dangerous choices: reduce selection and risk losing the specialist customer, or preserve selection and keep financing an expensive inventory system. Neither choice looked good, and that is why smart companies can continue making decisions that appear irrational from the outside. They are often protecting the feature that built the business, even after that feature has become financially dangerous. JOANN's enormous assortment was not simply a mistake. It was the foundation of the brand. But as demand weakened and debt increased, the company could no longer afford to maintain that foundation in the same way. Michaels was able to approach the opportunity differently. It could add selected JOANN products and brands to a broader business without recreating JOANN exactly. The winner did not preserve the entire old model. It chose the pieces that still worked. JOANN did not disappear because customers stopped caring. It disappeared because being deeply useful is not the same as being frequently profitable. And the company's greatest strength, offering something for almost every project, became increasingly expensive to sustain. That is the lesson behind JOANN's collapse. A competitive advantage is not permanent. Sometimes the feature that made a company successful becomes the feature that prevents it from changing. And the most dangerous moment for any business is not when customers hate what it offers. It is when customers still love it, but the company can no longer afford to give it to them. The hidden incentive. We do not just explain what happened. We reveal why the wrong decision made sense at the time